So adaptive leadership is leadership with influence. And it's interesting when you start to read Heifetz and the stories about adaptive leadership moving forward, because typically we think about leadership as something that is focused on support, stability, and solutions, but adaptive leadership is really focused on ensuring not only in time, sometimes that we have to do the support, stability, and solutions piece, but when we're dealing with adaptive problems, it often requires hard questions and an ability to push people out of their comfort zone, to enter into new relationships, to develop new expertise and activities. And in times of transition, when values are challenged and the status quo no longer returns the expected results, leaders leaders need to be more ambitious and work to engage staff to make sure that they're successful in their new tasks and their new relationships moving forward. So having formal authority, having a title, having expertise is not sufficient as an adaptive leader moving forward, and we need to develop new skills and new approaches. And this new approach really requires, as Heifetz says, a sense of balance, this sense of what the role is for leaders, given the situation, given the nature of the adaptive problems they're doing. And I love this. This is a quotation from Heifetz, who says that adaptive leadership it needs to be exercised so that people who are leading can do adaptive work, which means disappointing people's expectations that things will remain the same at a rate that they can tolerate without them ignoring you, trying to silence you, or resisting you in infinitely creative ways. And I hope this sort of resonates, because if you get that kind of result as a leader moving forward, it can be frustrating, but it also is confirmation that you're dealing with adaptive problems and you're raising the temperature for people moving forward. One of the core tools that Heifetz has left with us is this idea about regulating the heat. And this graph shows this. The key lines here are the horizontal lines that show the threshold of learning, and then the one above that, the limit of tolerance. And so we need to think about this in terms of the tension of change, or the tension for change moving forward. If you're below the threshold of learning, it's easy to ignore the pressure to do different things. But if you're so loaded in terms of new ideas, new relationships, new work, and go beyond the limit of tolerance, then you're no longer capable of actually learning and sustaining that work moving forward. And technical challenges, as you see in that black line, the black curve on the left, can go through those different levels, but they tend to do more quickly, whereas adaptive challenges tend to move back and forth. And the role of the leader is to understand where their staff are in terms of above or below the threshold of learning, or above and below the limit of tolerance moving forward. We have to stay in this productive range if we expect staff to change their work, or if we expect the leadership councils can change the way in which they approach their challenges moving forward. So leaders' roles are to identify the adaptive challenges, as we've already done, to frame those key issues, and to continue to ask questions, gauge responses moving forward. And leaders must look, as I say here, beyond the initial responses to what people are saying about their challenges, but also what they're not saying. Heifetz describes this as the song beneath the words, the physical signs of body language, eye contact, emotions, and the understanding about and attention to things that are not said when people's reactions to proposed solutions are not fully disclosing of the views that they have, because they're afraid to tell you the truth about this. So the leader's role is to be really attuned to this kind of understanding and physical and non-physical reactions to the things that we're asking people to do.